What's up, guys? It's Jacob here. Welcome to the webcast. We got an awesome week 16 in the NFL coming at you, a potential Super Bowl matchup on a rare Christmas Day game. Today, we're making all our picks for each game in the week 16. Let's go. What's up, guys? Adam's out with a cold today, but we carry on again. Like I said, we got an awesome week 16 coming at you. Let's dive right into those picks. All right, first up, we got the Saints taking on the Rams, a Saints team who hasn't let up a touchdown in the past two games. They need this win to get a playoff spot. It might be easier at this point to win their division than it is to get a wild card spot in the NFC. They're taking on a Rams team is coming off a good win against the Commanders. Matthew Stafford is playing some of his best football of the entire season. Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup and him are just clicking right now. They're holding on to a playoff spot just barely, sitting at 7-7. I think they're just playing too good of football. I think the Saints defense finally let up a touchdown after a long stand. I think the Rams get a few of them and they take it at home. Next up, we got an AFC North matchup. The Bengals taking on the Steelers. The Bengals obviously still without Joe Burrow, out for the season on IR, coming off an emotional win for Jake Browning, playing his former team in the Vikings. They sit third in the AFC North right now, but that's enough for a playoff spot at 8-6 in a tough AFC conference. The Steelers just can't find a quarterback that works in this system. The offense has looked bad all year. Mitch Trubisky did not look good. Two interceptions against the Colts the other day. The Steelers have to win this game if they want a chance to sneak into a wild card spot in the AFC. Even if they do win, I don't really see how they'll need a lot of help. I don't see them making the playoffs this year until they figure out that quarterback situation. I think Jake Browning has played very well. I'm going Bengals. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Bills coming off two massive wins against the Cowboys and Chiefs after losing that super close game against the Eagles. Josh Allen is quietly having an amazing season. He's got similar TD numbers and passing yards to Dak Prescott, who a lot of people have picked to be a strong MVP candidate. I think Josh Allen's season has been masked by some untimely losses and some untimely interceptions. His interceptions are a little too high to be in that conversation, but he's still passing the ball so well. The Bills are playing another team that are just clicking at the right time. They need this win to keep up that momentum going into the postseason. They're probably going to be a wild card team that you just don't want to play. I'm picking Bills to win this. Chargers obviously coming off that loss against the Raiders. Bye bye Brandon. Um, players will the players will be motivated to prove themselves under their new interim coach. But right now they're eliminated from playoff contention. They're just looking to play spoiler. I think the Bills have way more to lose here, obviously, and I think they take it. Next up, we have the Colts against the Falcons. Gardner Minshew has been playing very well. He had that hospital pass the other day, heavily criticized by Tom Brady. But Gardner Minshew's playing some really good football. I think 3 touchdowns the other day. Falcons just have not been good coming off a loss last week. I'm going Colts here. Next up, we have the Seahawks against the Titans. The Seahawks coming off that huge win against the Eagles. Geno Smith looks like he should be good to go. Some Seattle fans might want to see Drew Lock after that great win against one of the best teams in the NFL. We think that the Seahawks get this, or excuse me, Geno Smith gets the start. Titans, coming off that close loss to the Texans in OT, are now eliminated from playoff contention. Again, another team just with not that much to play with, and the Seahawks have everything to play with. I'm going Seahawks. We got Next up, we got Lions against the Vikings. The Lions coming off that big win against the Broncos. Goff probably had his best game of the season, 5 touchdowns. Laporta, 3 touchdowns. Uh, their offense is just clicking. Their defense looks good. Lions are set up to win their division. If if they get this win against the Vikings, it's mathematically impossible for the Lions to lose the division. Vikings coming off that, again, tough loss against the Bengals. Looks like Nick Mullins will get the start again. Joshua Dobbs benched again. We'll see if he goes to another team. What's up with him? You got to feel for him. He's had some emotional wins this year, but Vikings sticking with Nick Mullins against the Lions. I'm taking Lions. They just look too good right now. Next up, we have Commanders taking on the Jets. Both these teams are not really playing for much again. They're eliminated from playoff contention. The Jets, after losing against the Dolphins 30-0 last week, are officially eliminated from playoff contention. A lot of people would have argued that the Jets were officially eliminated in the first quarter of the first game when their Hall of Fame quarterback tore his Achilles tendon. Uh, it's it's sad that Zach Wilson couldn't get them to the playoffs when Aaron Rodgers looked like he might defy the laws of medicine and get back in there and maybe go on a little playoff run. We'll see if he sticks around offseason. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is getting older. I'm going Jets to win at home here. However, again, they don't have much to play for. Zach Wilson needs to prove himself. Maybe that will be enough to get the Jets the dub here. Next up, we have Packers taking on the Panthers. The Packers, after back-to-back wins against the Lions and the Chiefs, they lose to the Giants and then the Buccaneers. So you thought that they were going to make a little run at the end of the season and maybe have a playoff spot. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Who knows, though? They're playing the Carolina Panthers. They still mathematically have a chance. Panthers coming off a win rarely against the Falcons. The Bears fans here will be rooting for the Packers for maybe the first time in their life. They really want the Panthers to be that last place worst record team so they can get that first overall pick. Interesting matchup for that reason. I'm going Packers to win this one. Next up, we have Browns taking on the Texans. The Browns coming off the win against the Bears after that crazy last second Hail Mary attempt that almost worked. Joe Flacco, a few pretty bad interceptions the other day, but he did what he needed to do to win the game. The defense still looks so great. Texans coming off a really important win in OT against the Titans to try to keep a playoff spot. There's that three-way tie in the AFC South. CJ Stroud likely will remain sidelined with a concussion protocol. I don't think they want to risk their star rookie quarterback against the likes of Myles Garrett. For that reason, mostly I'm picking the Browns. Next up, we have the Jaguars taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, the Jaguars, another one of those teams that have that three-way tie in the AFC South, coming off a bad loss to a very, very tough Ravens team. After 3 straight losses to AFC North opponents, I'm sure the Jaguars will be looking to play an NFC opponent for once. Buccaneers are holding on to that first place spot in the NFC South. Someone has to win it. Again, I think those teams will have an easier time winning the NFC South than they will get an NFC wildcard spot. Buccaneers, after going 4-7, are now 500 and off a 3-game winning streak. We'll see if they can keep it up. I think the Jaguars win this one, and I think the Jaguars end up winning the AFC South. Next up, we have Cardinals at the Bears. The Cardinals coming off that tough loss against the 49ers. Um, Looking decent offensively. It's just tough to play such a good 49ers team. Bears, man, if that Hail Mary would have worked, that would have been amazing. Um, Again, two teams that really don't have that much to play for. They're really just, I'm sure, looking to go into rebuild mode and see what the offseason looks like in the draft. I'm going with a little upset here. I'm going to pick Cardinals. Next up, we have a super exciting matchup. Cowboys taking on the Dolphins. Cowboys obviously coming off that bad loss against the Bills. The Bills defense doing their best job to keep us guessing with who should get MVP. You know, Dak Prescott had that amazing game against the Eagles, and then follows that performance up with a not so stellar game against the Bills. We'll see who ends up taking that MVP. Tyreek Hill, like we said, has a strong argument. We'll see if he's a go. It looks like he might be available. I think they play him because the Dolphins really want to get back to um, really keep up their momentum going into the playoffs and winning their division. Dolphins need to win this to keep pace with the Ravens if they want to have any chance at that first spot in the AFC. I'm gonna go Cowboys here, though. Even though they're playing away, I think the Dolphins struggle against teams with winning records. The Cowboys do too, of course, but I think the Cowboys rebound after last week and they take the win. Patriots at Broncos. The Broncos have really got it together the last few weeks. They're coming off that tough loss against a good Lions team. They need to win out and have some help for a playoff spot. I think the Patriots are another team that is happy to tank and maybe get a top three, top four a pick in the draft. Broncos have everything to lose here. They're playing at home. Got to go Broncos here. Next up, we have Raiders at Chiefs. Raiders coming off their best game of the season, just thrashing the Chargers, the game that saw Brandon Staley fired. Chiefs coming off good win against Patriots. They rebounded after that infamous offsides call. I think Mahomes might kill Kadarius Toney if he keeps making these bonehead mistakes and dropping passes, but got to pick the Chiefs here. Next up, we have Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles looking to rebound after a very bad few games. They really let one go against the Seahawks. Jalen Hurts 2 interceptions. The Giants coming off a bad loss against the Saints. Tommy DeVito didn't look so good. Looks like he got a new agent, so we won't see that guy on the sideline anymore. Um, I don't think the Giants have enough to beat this Eagles team, and Eagles need to win this game to build up momentum and maybe challenge the Niners for that first spot in the NFC and also to just win their division. They're sitting in second to the Cowboys. I'm picking Eagles to win this one. The Monday night game is a Christmas Day special. We don't see many Christmas Day games in the NFL. A possible Super Bowl preview. We'll see if that ends up happening. Both teams sitting at 11-3. Um, Both teams playing some of their best football of the season. They both look absolutely unstoppable. This is going to be an amazing game. The Ravens, no Mark Andrews, no problem. Isaiah Likely filling in that tight end role very nicely. The 49ers, after a 3-game losing streak mid-season, are now on a 6-game winning streak. They haven't lost a game this season when Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams have been healthy. Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams are healthy this weekend. I'm picking 49ers at home. I'm so excited for that game. That's our week 16 picks. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.